Welcome to Star Talk, everybody. And I have with me today Scott Doggett. And we are going to be discussing leadership and how leadership has literally been very disconnected lately, and how we're going to talk about how we're going to humanize leadership. And welcome, Scott. Thank you so much for joining me.
It's great to be here. Thank you for having me, Carly.
Absolutely. So I want you to do me a favor and share with everyone a little bit about yourself and how you've arrived at wanting to deal with leadership.
Yeah, so I am a 30-year hospitality career guy. I spent the first half of my career in operations and actually ran several hotels and resorts and loved that season of my career. And then discovered training and development, and that became my new passion in life. And in 2006, I kind of pivoted, and with Wyndham Resorts, I became a corporate training person and grew and kind of that was the second half of my career. I became a director and then a VP of learning and development and built an academy of learning and development for holiday and club vacations. And that was kind of the second season of my career. And just throughout that, just was fascinated by leadership and the impact that leadership has, not just on performance and results, but on people and helping people build their confidence and to see them grow as people. And so it's been a common theme throughout my career. But I will tell you, at the end of 2023, I decided to kind of go on a voyage and leave hospitality and see where God would take me, because I really thought that there was a calling out there for me that was outside of this small world that I had found myself in. And long story short, it led me to a nonprofit called World Vision. And it was a nonprofit doing incredible work around the globe, where I was able to use these skills and lead their leadership development program. And I thought that was the calling. I thought, Carly, that was going to be my career for the rest of my life. I was going to be at World Vision, and God had other plans, because 9 months in, they lost some funding through Doge, and I lost my job, unfortunately, after 9 months. And I thought, wait a minute, I really thought this was my calling. But what I realized was God had brought me there for 9 months so that I could see servant leadership in an organization like I have never seen it in my entire career. I think it was something that I had been seeking, but I never had found it until I was able to experience what I experienced at World Vision. And so every leader there was truly a servant leader, from the CEO and every executive, and the results that came from that kind of culture were incredible. From single digit turnover numbers to the highest revenue per employee number that I've ever seen in any organization. And so that was the inspiration that I needed to go out and write my book and create this academy and attract other faculty to join and create this national movement to show organizations that if you just treat people well and you can kind of look at leadership a little bit differently, you can get incredible results. So that's the journey that I have been on.
I absolutely agree with you. And I think leadership is such an under talked about subject. I always created courses and trilogies. And so mine was conscious business collaborations, because to me, leadership is about collaboration. It's not just an I am the leader. It's who are you serving, and can you not be a leader with all? So I agree with you entirely about it being something that it needs to be talked about, how we need to incorporate it in everything that we do. I mean, leadership is not just a leadership thing at a job. It's a leadership in your own life. How do you lead your life, right?
Absolutely. And again, it all starts with how you see people. I mean, this is the thing. We I think overcomplicate workplace culture, and we spend literally globally trillions of dollars every year trying to fix whether it's workplace culture or productivity or these surface level problems, when really at the end of the day, to me, it's a perception issue. To me, it is, because the way that you see people is the way that you treat people. If if you see, we always put a label on someone when we see them, and whatever that label is how we treat them, and that's how we make them feel. And the way that an employee feels really influences what kind of effort they're going to give you back. And so if you want to get great results, then you need your employees to be at their best and wanting to give their most effort and that creativity and that discretionary effort. And so if we really if we want to get those kind of results, we have to treat people the best that we can treat them. And so it all starts with how we see people. If we see them as, oh, you're just a intern, or you're just an entry level employee, or, oh, you're a distraction, or you're chatty Cathy, or whatever label we put on you, it automatically influences my level of empathy, my level of listening that I give you, even the level of respect that I show you is all influenced by that, the way that I see you. And so we try to get leaders to see people as priceless human beings based on their worth, because if we can get you to see people based on that, then we're going to start to treat you based on the fact that you are priceless, and hopefully make you feel that way. And the rest is just magic.
Well, it's true. I mean, the old phrase of don't judge a book by a cover, right? I mean, we really need to know people. We can't just walk by people and go, oh, you're this, like you said, or you're that. And we really need to know the people, get to have a relationship with them, know what their things that they do really good at, what are they need help with. And I always tell people, I always do a lot of multi-sensory work in terms of archetyping, what position people need to be in, and why they need to be in it. They may be over here, but the reality is they're best at X, right? So I think as a leader, that's one thing we really need to tune into our people and find out what are their best assets and what they need help with, and go from there.
That's a great way to show employees that they're seen, and that you hear them, and that you understand and you value them. And again, that's all employees want. That's what they're asking for. We don't need to spend millions and millions of dollars on these big fancy systems and tools. And they just want to be heard, and they want to be known, and they want to be seen and valued and respected. And that doesn't cost money. It really just takes time and that heart to want to get to know and serve those that are entrusted into your care.
And that's when we talk about time is precious, right?
Yeah.
Time is precious. And also, though, that time is precious to get to know people. I think so many times we're so worried about time being precious, we don't take the time to get to know people. And I think that's just so important, especially in a business, because if you don't know your employees, it's not going to succeed.
No. And again, that time is so well invested. If you can just, again, take that time, get to know them. To your point earlier, everybody has different strengths and different weaknesses and different goals and aspirations. And some people want to grow in your organization and some don't. And some like communicate differently. Some like to be recognized differently. My wife is one who hates public recognition. If you try to give her an award in public, she will cry and faint, and it'll be the worst experience. But you've got to get to know that about her. And when you do, though, that's when you really get the best out of people. And that's when you get the best results. Right now, Gallup is showing 31% of our US workforce is engaged. That's it. 31% is engaged. They also show that 70% of that engagement comes from leadership behavior, from how our leaders are treating our people. So that's where we have to start. We've got to go back to looking at how our leaders are looking at the people. Are they looking at them as resources to be managed? Or are these human beings with infinite value that we get to know and, again, start to value and respect in the workplace?
Absolutely. The other thing I want to touch upon, because people are afraid right now, leaders included, is now with the invention and coming on very strong AI. How do you see AI working in leadership?
So I think it's a blessing in a lot of cases, because we work with clients on looking at AI a little bit differently and seeing that it is a tool that can get us time back. Time that I've been coaching executives for decades now, and the number one excuse that I get when we talk about things like, hey, we need to spend more time mentoring and coaching and doing more team building and more leadership development, the number one excuse that I've heard for decades is I don't have the time. I see the value. I definitely see the value, but I don't have the time, Scott. And so now AI is allowing us that opportunity to say, hey, I don't need to spend 4 hours on this one report that every week. I can use AI to get that work done much, much quicker, so that I can now reinvest those minutes, those hours, those days, and spend that time with my people, making human connections. So to me, it really is a blessing if we use it the right way. I also think we need to position it so that it's not a scary thing, because right now I know it's creating a lot of fear in the workplace. And is this tool going to replace my job? Is it going to replace me and the value that I bring with me to the workplace? So I think we need to position it as, hey, this is a new skill that we're all going to learn. We're going to upskill and we're going to learn this together. And hopefully it'll give lots of people time to spend doing more creative work or more value added work. And we can use it to do more of the administrative busy work, so that we can, again, feel better about that work that we're able to do.
Yeah, and time is precious. We want to have time with our family. We want to have time
Yeah.
to do the proper work. And so, yes, I really think that people should look at AI as a tool. It is a tool to give you more time. It is a tool to help you with minutia, that things that you do over and over and over again, that it can do simply. It's not meant to replace a human leadership job, or management job. An AI can't manage a company. An AI can't deliver a leadership conference, right? So we just need to look at AI as a tool.
And even the AI coaching, there's a lot of AI coaching tools that are emerging in the marketplace. We even have one that we've developed for our workshop, but we show how, yes, it's meant to be a supplement to your leadership toolbox. It's not meant to replace your human mentors and coaches, right? Because the AI coaching tool is a great resource. It's a great tool to give you some different ideas and different perspectives and different angles and how to handle different situations. But what it will never know is it will not know the people that work in your organization. It won't know the history. It won't know context. It won't know those sorts of things that are so valuable and so needed. And you can only get those from your human coaches and mentors. So again, I think it's important to show that these are great tools, but yes, let's use them in addition to, not to replace.
What are some tips that you can give people on how to start?
So I think the thing that you could start today would be the next time that somebody walks into your office, if you're a leader and you have people that report to you, I would challenge yourself to think about what label are you putting on that person when they walk into your office. Just think about it, pause and reflect, because we all do it, whether we like it, whether we know we're doing it or not. And I would challenge you to replace that label, whatever it is, with another label. And I want you to replace that label with the one that says, this person is priceless. They have a story. I may not know what that story is, but they have a history. They've had pain in their life. They've had struggles. They have a family that loves them. They have strengths. They have struggles. They have goals and aspirations. And when you get to know them and you get to know their story, it really is hard not to love them and want to fight for them and help them grow and be successful. But it has to start with first seeing them differently so that you can lead them at this much higher level. And that's what servant leadership is all about. It's really looking at your role first and looking in the mirror and saying, my job is not to control people or to manage resources. My job is really to serve those entrusted into my care and help them succeed, because they're the ones getting results. They're the ones driving results. It's not me, it's them. And so I need to make sure that they're set up for success. And the best way to do that is through service.
In your opinion, so what would be a good definition for servant leadership?
I think servant leadership is defined, the success of a servant leader is how well did you do at helping people grow at the end of the day. It isn't really based on, yes, you're going to get results. That's kind of that lag measure. But really what the measurement of success is, did you help people grow, develop, succeed as a result of your leadership? Because I think so often what we see is leaders get rewarded based on financial results, especially the higher you go up in an organization, and they don't take into consideration how sometimes those results were achieved. And I think part of what I loved about World Vision in my 9 months there was they got incredible results. They got the best results I've ever seen, when you look at percentages. But it wasn't just the results that were impressive. It was how they got those results. And I think that was why they got such great results, is because about how they went about it. So I think that might be the difference from what I've experienced in over a 30-year career.
The other thing I like to touch upon is feedback. A lot of people are petrified of feedback because they're told it in a way where they can't hear it. And I always tell people, one of the things in neurolinguistics is not to use the word but. You're doing a great job, but.
Yes.
Right. Instead of saying you're doing a great job and we need to work on X, Y, and Z. So I think feedback also is a very important tool for leadership in any position anybody is in, except we need to know how to deliver it. What is your take on that?
Yeah, I think everything that we do as a leader, right, whether it's giving feedback, giving recognition, it's how we react when they make a mistake, all of those things, they leave an impression on that employee, right? I leave as an employee telling myself a story about that interaction. So if you're giving me feedback and it doesn't feel good, if I feel like you're making me feel stupid or small or I'm embarrassed, then you haven't done any good for me, right? I'm not leaving that interaction inspired to go out and do great work. The goal as a leader is to make sure that you leave my presence. I'm either uh, you've maintained my self-image or you've boosted it. You've made me feel better about myself. So feedback is one of those things that as a servant leader, you want to give feedback because the goal is to help that person improve. You want them to succeed. It's again, back to the way we deliver that message. It can always be delivered with respect and with dignity and with care and compassion. And once that person understands that that is the motive behind why you're giving that feedback, it is so much easier to receive because people don't get defensive about what you say. They get defensive because they think you're saying it. And so I think that's that part of servant leadership is once you've established that relationship, then feedback and all of those things become so much easier because now I know, hey, you're looking out for me. And your intent, your heart is pure. And guess what? We're not looking for perfection. It's not about being perfect. It really is about that intent and what are we trying to accomplish every day?
Now, I would love to hear from you because people always love these.
Yeah.
Give me 3 ahas. What are some of the ahas you've gotten through your career?
Well, the first aha was definitely the way that you see people is the way that you treat people. I had a leader once that used to go around always saying, you're letting the inmates run the asylum. The inmates are running the asylum. That was his favorite phrase. And it dawned on me, the light bulb kind of went off that, oh, he sees us as inmates. And he treated us like inmates. And we kind of felt like inmates as we walked around that resort. And, we'd see him coming and we'd kind of run and try to hide in closets because nobody wanted to kind of be around his energy. So that was kind of one of the big aha moments. Another one was noticing I had an opportunity to manage several teams in my career. But there's been several employees that I have just through transitions, I've been able to lead or I've been able to observe under different leadership. And I've seen, there's several that come to mind where I've seen them thrive under one style of leader. And then I've seen them completely shrink under another leader, right? And nothing has changed with this person. Like, it's not like their talents have changed, but what's changed is the environment for this employee. And so that was another big aha for me, I think, is that, the environment, it has so much influence over our level of performance. And again, that effort that we go in and give and our confidence and all of those things. And leadership plays such a big role in that. So that was probably my second biggest aha. And now you need a third. There's been so many.
I
You
stumped
stumped
you.
me.
We can skip a
Oh,
third.
I know. Okay,
Oh,
no, this is
okay,
another
let's
one.
go.
The other big
Let's
aha
go.
that I've experienced is I've gone through several big moments in the world, like 9/11, the finance crash in 2008, 2009, COVID. During those periods, I was able to observe organizations and how they handled layoffs or restructures or these crises. And that was another big aha moment for me because I was able to, like, as a people watcher, watch especially executives and how they handled those. And to me, it determined or defined the culture of those organizations and seeing the impact that even just one, like the CEO of those organizations, and then seeing the change of those CEOs and the change in the culture almost overnight. And that to me, I never understood the impact or the influence that just even that one role carries for an organization. Because again, the way that you handle those in those moments, the way that you handle, again, compassionately or not compassionately, the exiting of employees that have been there for decades, right, says so much about, right? Again, it doesn't matter what you put on the wall about your culture or what you put in the handbook. It's those moments that truly define what your culture is about.
Well, as they say, a lot of actions are a lot louder than talk.
And
So
those are
it
the
is
moments that
vitally
test it.
important. It is absolutely. And 9/11 rocked our world. I missed
Yep.
it by 1 hour. I was on the train to my job in New York City. So I
Oh
was
my
on the
goodness.
PATH train. And it was mind blowing, the reactions and just
Yeah.
everything. But anyways, we are going to end with you telling us your biggest tip. In other words, let's end this conversation with something that people can walk away with. And also, please let everyone know where they can find you and reach
Yes.
out to you.
So yeah, you can try to keep everything super simple. We're leading this national movement to try to just inspire, bringing this humanity back into the workplace in this day and age of AI and automation. We're really trying to just get people to really focus in on just taking good care of our employees. So we put everything on our website. So everything you can find is on www.nationalald.com. So it's nationalald.com. And so I'll leave you with this. And I kind of already kind of mentioned it a little bit, but Mr. Rogers was one of my favorite shows growing up. It was one of the shows my mom let us watch after school. And I remember just very specifically this one episode where he looked in the camera and he said, boys and girls, once you get to know someone's story, it is hard not to love them. And that really stuck with me. And so, again, I think just going out and getting to know people's story, and then again, challenge yourself. Know that every person that you come in contact with in this world, you consciously or subconsciously put a label on that person. And that label that dictates how you treat that person in that moment and how you make them feel. And so I would just challenge you, whether it's at work or in your personal life, whether you're in traffic, at the mall, at the airport, but this is something that you can practice every day, is just go around and look people in the eye and just tell them that they are priceless. Don't say it out loud. You'll probably get a lot of weird looks and maybe some calls, but just think it to yourself that that person in front of you is a priceless human being. And right, there's 8 billion people walking around this globe, all with unique, amazing stories. And so that blows my mind every time I think about that. I think just in crowds and things, we just lose sight of that fact. And so laser focus, hone in, look people in the eye, and just remind yourself that they are priceless, and just see what it does even for you personally. I think for me, it's changed my life, and I hope it will for you as well.
Yeah, and people need to understand everybody is going through something that you don't
Yes,
know. So you want
that's
to
it.
treat everybody with reverence, respect, and it's just, we don't know. So
We
just
don't
do
know.
that.
That's it.
Anyways, it has been a delight talking to you. I love talking about leadership. It's one of my favorite topics. And I look forward to connecting again and wishing everyone a great day. And I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone. We're out.